Hello, beautiful people. Now that we're being quarantined due to COVID-19, let's take some time to discuss about things that are not being discussed often. Well, of course, except na lang kung psychology major ka. I don't know about other courses, but as far as I know, memory is included in cognitive psychology, which psych majors are required to take. Although there are some teachers or professors naman that have talked about it at least once in your class. So, ano na ba talaga yung topic? Ano na? Well, as you can see in the title of this video, it is about forgetfulness. Isn't it frustrating when you're talking to your friend and then suddenly you forgot what you're going to say? Or have you ever had to go back to your house because you forgot something important, causing you to be late? Or how about after opening the fridge, you just stand there and staring at those food and wondering, wait, what am I doing here again? Or which food am I going to get again? Have you ever encountered those kind of moments? Well, I'm sure that each of us have experienced this a lot of times. So, is being forgetful really a big thing? The answer is possibly. More often than not, forgetfulness is the source of an argument because there are times that you've forgotten your friend's or your partner's birthday. And there are even moments where you forgot to text your partner back. Oof. However, forgetting may be a serious problem for others, especially for the older people. And yes, I am talking about dementia. They may forget everybody's name, and there are some who are unable to remember their relatives and friends. Can you even imagine how sad that must be? Now, I know the people who are affected by someone's forgetfulness must have felt frustrated and upset whenever the incident occurs. But let me ask you one thing. Have you ever wondered why are they like that and why, just why do they keep on forgetting things? I know there seems a lot of possible explanations for this, but I'm going to tell you 5 common reasons on why people forget. So first on the list is nutrition. Yes, nutrition is not only beneficial to our physical health, but to our cognition as well. If we lack nutrition in our body, we tend to be inactive, hence making us not being able to function properly both physically and mentally. It prevents us from thinking and remembering clearly. It was found in studies published in Neurology, the medical journal of the American Academy of Neurology, stating, I quote, healthiest diets were 24% less likely to have cognitive declines than people with the least healthy diets, unquote. Not only that, poor diet can also be a potential risk to Alzheimer's disease. Yes, it can be that serious. It is a must to be careful on what we eat. I know it is not an easy task to stay away from unhealthy snacks, and it is extremely difficult not to indulge our sweet tooth, especially when we are stressed. However, we must make adjustment in our lifestyle if we do not want our cognition to be affected. B12 vitamin is known as having a key role in healthy brain and the function of the nerves. And if someone lacks these vitamins, lacks this vitamin, there is a tendency that person would be most likely to get confused more often and he or she would find it difficult to concentrate and remember. Fish is one of the sources of B12 vitamins, so it is really recommended to include fish in your diet. Another reason why some people forget is because of alcohol and drugs. It is really not surprising, isn't it? So someone might point out to me, well, young girl, I drink because I want to forget, Well, yes, you have a point there, my friend. But you may want to slow down your consumption on the alcohol as it affects not only some things you want to forget, but your whole cognition as well. Especially, or specifically, our short-term memory. However, some studies shows that red wine can be beneficial to our memory. You might be confused right now. Well, of course, it is only beneficial to our health with moderate consumption. Meanwhile, heavy and binge drinking may cause some brain damage and can lead to memory deficit. Now let's talk about drugs. And when I say drugs, I am talking about both illegal and prescription drugs. Let's talk about cocaine as an example of illegal drug. A recent research was conducted to study the connection between cocaine and memory loss. Basically, they put people who use cocaine and those who do not in a cognitive test and compared the results. After the test, they had concluded that people who use cocaine showed worse performance on the cognitive test than those who do not consume the said drug. This study just showed that cocaine can negatively affect both our short and long-term memory. Moving on to prescription drugs, let's talk about anti-anxiety drugs such as benzodiazepines, for example. It has always been known that this drug has several side effects, including having negative effect on memory. However, you can always discuss this issue to your doctor if the side effects get too severe. Hopefully, they can prescribe you another medication that is more suited and tolerable for you. Next reason is sleep deprivation. Now, I think we all know that not having enough sleep is not good for our health, both physical and mental health. If you're sleep deprived, then you might feel a little bit more irritable and stressed than usual. Not only that, lack of sleep also makes it hard for someone to concentrate, pay attention, and to remember things as it affects the brain's ability to store and recall memories. Thus, sleep deprivation can also cause anxiety, which makes us even more forgetful. That is why we should have a good quality of sleep as much as possible. Easier said than done. Another factor is ang enemy number one ng lahat. Stress. I know stress is a massive pain in our lives, and unfortunately, it is not something that one can avoid easily. Now, how does stress affect our memory? So we're going to have a little brain talk on this one. According to Dr. Kerry Ressler, a chief scientific officer at McLean Hospital and a professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, the brain has different parts that are in charge of different tasks. Researchers suggested that when one part of the brain is engaged, the other parts of the brain may not have enough strength or energy to perform their vital task. Let's give this an example for you to further understand this topic. When you are in a life-threatening situation, the amygdala, or the part of the brain that is responsible for our emotions such as fear, takes over. Now that a certain part of your brain is heightened, the other parts of the brain, such as, let's say, the part that is responsible for our memories, may not be able to perform as much. Now, how about daily stress, such as work and school? How does that affect our cognition? Specifically, our memory. There was a study in 2012. It was found that chronic stress has a negative effect in spatial memory, which is a type of memory that enables us to remember locations and allows us to remember where an object is located. Also, there was an experiment in 2014 where it was discovered that high level of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, was located in short-term memory declines in older rats. So I recommend you to take it easy. Breathe and relax, because we also know that stress is not good in our health. Well, there you go. There are the 5 common reasons why people forget. And while we are still in the topic of forgetfulness, allow me to give you some practical tips on how to remember things clearly. So first, if you are like me who often forget where she leaves her belongings, you can try this method. Next time you try to put something down somewhere, try to look for that object for a little longer to keep in mind the last location of that item. By doing this, you have now a picture in your memory of the location of the item and wouldn't be able to forget about it. Trust me, it works. And of course, I'm going to mention probably the most classical method to remember things. Can you guess what it is? Write it down. Yes, this works for a lot of people, may it be students, parents, or workers, even me. If you know that you tend to forget a lot, then as much as possible, write down the things you need to do or buy. The last tip I'm going to say is to exercise more, as it hoists the level of chemicals that support the nerve cells, which improves our memory. And have an adequate time of sleep. I know I already mentioned it before, but I just want to emphasize how sleep is important in our body and in our cognition. Being forgetful is part of being human. However, do not be too relaxed and don't let the incidents occur too often because this supposedly just being forgetful may lead to be a much bigger problem in the future. Thank you for listening to me and I hope this video helped you to understand people who are forgetful. Bye!